Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Soup Breakdown. Today we'll be looking at the MSN-001A1 Delta Plus, piloted by Riddy Marcinus. I like the Delta Plus a lot. I didn't like it early on, but I've since gained an appreciation for it, mostly because of how good its movement is. This is a very nice idle animation, and I play with this a lot in the end of a match. But it's because of this that I enjoy the Delta Plus so much. You have so much mobility that costs so little Vernier, and then you can just go straight from that into almost any of your other attacks. You can cancel into melee, of course, unless you get hit. You can cancel into a beam. You can even like shoot while in this mode. The mobile armor mode on the Delta Plus is one of my favorites in this game. It's really good. Past that, the Delta Plus has some pretty decent melee combos that do decent enough damage, you know. It can fire twice with its beam rifle, but it is a manual reload, so keep that in mind. And then the missiles have slight homing on them, so that's nice. The Striker, I would have expected it to be mobile armor mode go forward, but instead it's just a regular melee attack, which is fine. It does what you need it to do. The Burst is a little weird in that the Unicorn shows up, and it's very hard to aim. That burst. It's tough to get a good handle on it. It can do a lot of damage if you line it up correctly, but otherwise, not easy. You also, well, I was about to show it, but we'll have to show it in a second since he got a quick shot in on me. It has a really cool cannon that you can fire with it as well, if you can line it up correctly. But for instance, if we go up, well, okay. I'm going to get to show it at some point here. This is always the fun part of the Soup Breakdown. Come on now. Full frontal. No need to be like that. Come on. There is a shot that you can cancel out of that is very powerful and does a ton of damage. We'll do it in a second, since Full Frontal didn't want to play nice and kept interrupting me while I was lining up the shot. The question becomes, should you use the Delta Plus? Well, yeah, I think so. It's a really powerful 300 with a ton of mobility that will help you get out of the range of Garobis and help you dodge attacks that, if you're like me and have a hard time dodging, maybe will give you a leg up on being able to get around attacks like that. When it comes to ranged options, it doesn't really have that much. The rifle's pretty powerful. But you only get 4 shots, and you can either choose to fire them individually or back-to-back. Regardless, though, you're not going to get a lot of shots out of it. That's one of my favorite things to do, because it's just so powerful. It's really good. For melee combos, they're decent, as you can see. The stab's not bad at all. Coming in from the side for that knock-up that can then lead into another one. And then finally, the back one is a bash, which is pretty nice if you can pull it off. But melee combos really aren't where it shines, I guess you could say. I'd say where it shines really is in the ability to get around and cancel out of that movement to do some really nice moves. There was the beam, but we missed with it. But it does really nice damage if you can hit with it. The only thing, again, that I really don't like is the burst, because it's hard to keep track on somebody. You fly straight towards them while firing, and the shots only hit directly in front of you. So there are a lot of times that it feels like I'm going to hit, and I don't hit at all. Other than that, though, I think that it's very nice, very powerful. Does its job very well. And in maneuverability alone, I don't think there's much in this game that matches the Delta Plus. It doesn't have as many options as some other suits in the 300s, but the ability to do this and then be behind him when I was a good little distance away, I think more than makes up for it, personally. Landed right in that grab. Let's see if we can finish him off with a burst. Weird as it is. Yeah. But, until next time, I have been Trey. This has been the full spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Delta Plus has to offer.